nearly every single game, and whenever it wasn't, it was picked almost every single attacking round. In fact, I'd love, Fresh, if you're listening, I'd love to hear the presence percentage for DKB. So, a combination of rounds banned and rounds picked when available.
He's way back on into sight, so he may well just stick at that one for a while. He's still there as I speak.
Oh, here we go, charging straight in as well.
However,
Candelas came out, and that was the charge on in. A nade, fully capitalising on the chaos off the Candelas, coming on through has found two. KZ's found one as well, but Hot and Cold is shutting things up at the other end of the map. Not that it matters, because KZ has then walked to 2K to close things out. Pretty close to
clear out that catwalk. What do you bring instead? They don't have any nades on site, so how exactly do you clear those two operators from catwalk? And at the minute, it looks like W7M don't have an answer. They do, however, have an answer to Forest.
I like this when you know you've been given so much time in a round, and you're quite a quick team anyway. You can move this Monty in from the west side. It's very rare that we see this. Ashen did not expect tough Philippox charging in behind him from Secret there, but he's managed to get away with it. A bit of ring around the roses, I'm afraid. Will say though, Tim, look to your top right corner of the screen. Drone-wise, only two halfway through the round remain standing for W7M. They have put a lot of effort into trying to get this west side of the map. This Monty is going to be critical to keep alive, because he will be their primary source of information as they line up for an execute inside of Cash and CC.
I like that SSG are using this hold against W7M, so there you go, that's exactly what I was about to talk about. J9 steps out and manages to get a nice kill through the soft wall there of construction. The first time that I ever saw that setup with construction wall being opened was actually done inside of the LATAM region. We're talking back to about 2021 from memory. I think I'm right in saying it was Julio and NIP that I first saw using it, and you just basically open up that construction wall rather than reinforcing, and you get a line of sight all the way across the bedroom.
Here we are, what, 75 seconds in? Got our hatch opened up inside the kitchen, already got a lot of the work done in opening up kitchen hallway as well. It's going well for W7M.
JV92 just needing to be cautious there. Fultz was watching that spot, but he's not going to get the angle that he needs. However, he will find a down and the Toxic Babe canister, and I believe that has come from Dirt Tunnel onto kitchen window. Absolutely beautiful play from Fultz. I don't know if JV92 had maybe moved to relocate to Dirt or something, but one way or another, Fultz gets it done. Yes, he had, so he was just moving away from kitchen. Fultz was there ready. The position that Forest played last time around, and I commented that, you know, there's no problem playing that aggressive up Dirt Tunnel. You can just hold on to that position for a while. It looks like W7M are going to be going for the same that they did last time, which is the drop of bar hatch and straight into sight.
Nice drop as well. They were relying so much on the Fenrir Dreadmine that with it being disabled by that EMP, well, look at what's happened. It's caught them out entirely. Candelas can now rain on through. They need to get rid, really, of the Fenrir gadget, though, at the same time. They have just left it there disabled. Only last 9 seconds with those micro EMPs. Hers in for one, not quite in for a second, but it's still a big numbers advantage for W7M, Tim.
39 seconds left to go. Ashen needs to find this kill and will do. Keys gets put down, and Nade manages to find the trade, though. 1 versus 1 as J9. Cannot pick up the line. Minute as players have repositioned, and it's going to be a bit of a risk standing underneath this. Herds has already got the angle. Ashen does manage to move away, but not too far. It's such a gamble of a play. I'm not going to criticise it. You know, sometimes you've got to take those risks and give it a go. If Ashen gets a kill there, we're saying how fantastic it is. You know, but realistically, what you're hoping for is basically somebody stood in exactly the right place for you. And when they're not, and you've got to move away, you're moving into that line of sight, and he gets punished for it. But to be fair, SSG, they don't come away too badly. They're still a man up at 4 versus 3.
Not the end of the world, I think. Like you say, if he gets that kill, he's a hero. If he fails it, then it looks a bit silly, but at least he's trying, and that's
you got to give it a go.
Absolutely. And that one was out towards main breach as well. As you can see, the blood splattered across the table. And as I said, there are still these lines of defense that they can work with here, and really it's about anyone who's out on the roam, i.e. Fultz, now starting to look to strike anyone playing below. And Philippox may well be that identified target that they want to hunt down.
JV92 going to open up the soft garage wall and move in. I don't think that they're aware of Fultz's position. Now then, if his teammates can create a little noise potentially, he might be able to clear out these track stingers without giving too much away. Philippox is just going to double down on that, which is going to make the life a lot more difficult, but he's certainly thinking about how far he can push up here, and I don't think they're aware whatsoever. If he goes for this peak, Philippox will get picked up, but he manages to scurry away to safety through stock. But the bigger problem is that they still have a Solis potentially on their flank without really being able to lock him down at the minute.
A real example there of how the gridlock gadget is just so valuable. For those of you aren't aware, why are we seeing so much gridlock? It's because we've now got nades, but that gadget has also had some buffs over the last year or so, to a point it's now pretty ridiculous. And for Leapox, down below, making good use of those frag grenades that we spoke about to do some work. So really stopping them maybe once here. Hold shots first. I was going to say really good at stopping these Romans from doing anything, but they've done just that. Last one left standing now. It's JV92 trying to push into both Fultz and Hot and Cold. For now, at least the site only has one person on it, because we had Fultz retreating back up the main stairs towards site, and JV's using that to make quite an aggressive move here. He's got himself a 3k, but only 10 seconds to go, and he's got the diffuser in back pocket.
It's just going to be that ring around the roses as Fultz tries to keep himself out of the line of sight for as long as possible. Catches JV for them to use, but they've yet to deal with Ashen, and we're nearly a minute in. This is well played so far from SSG.
Well, are they going to pinch him? There's a Lion working in from one side. We've also got the Hibana looking in to join here as well. So Ashen should be dead to rights, and sure enough, KZ finds him. They make it a 1-for-1. He's still done a good bit of damage though. He got rid of the thermite. There's the hard breach being taken offline. Not really the end of the world for this site, because you've got the Hibana on side. She's the queen of hatches. Her job is to get open these 3 hatches that you sorely need opened up. Jane, I know, with a wonderful shot onto KZ at further distance, mind you. And it's, again, not the end of the world with the operators they're finding. I'm pretty sure all the E1Ds were down, but it's still a gun that is being taken away from W7M, so they don't have this flooding execute that we saw the last 2 times we were on this site.
Yeah, it's much better, and as I say, by getting out in the map, SSG have given them a headache. They've given them more to think about. They've wasted half of the round, they've taken 2 bodies with them, and all of a sudden W7M cannot play their primary game plan for attacking this site. It's not to say they won't go on and win it. They're trying to open up long angles, they're adapting, they're using plan B, they're going to hassle Church Wall instead. They've got other ideas, but right now they're not paying off, as Fultz manages to find a headshot onto for Leapox. SSG now in a 4v2 can sort of just sit back and wait for W7M to make a move.
Just keep on catching out one at a time here as well. Now JV's all alone pushing down. It's these Kiva barriers all round have been such a headache. He's managed to drag one back over. Oh, what a shot at range from JV. Sees the literal clip of Fultz's head and gets his man. JV's down to his lasso at this point. Got 2 to try and find down. And again, those keeper barriers are just getting in the way. Flashes them out a little bit deeper on. Can't quite find his man. There's one inside blue, one actually still waiting inside of Church here. With 30 seconds to play, Tim, it's not looking too good.
No, not at all. Hotton and J9 just need to hold on in these positions. They know that there's no real way for JV92 to be able to rotate here and take a different angle, but they're going to keep peeking out, and he's going to punish them. Beautiful headshot. Can he complete this 1v2? He's going to get the diffuser in hand. 10 seconds left to go. He sees the movement. He knows exactly where they're going. JV92 is going to try and get the diffuser down here. J9 just looks for the angle around. Don't get too aggressive, but he does, and JV somehow comes away with a 1v2.
Well, still with the Grim on side and looking towards that alongside, I was going to say the last E1D and what they can force with this, but that E1D ringing out and not really giving anything on the side of W7M to gain, to be honest. If nothing else, Fultz is still left here. And this is why comboing these 2 gadgets together can be so powerful. Or getting them working alongside drones, but as we're seeing yet again, W7M's drone count is just whittled down so aggressively by the side of SSG that they are having to go in blind in a couple of cases. That's where things like the Lion and the Grim stacking up can be so effective. And as much as they're trying to force this player off catwalk, SSG are capitalising big time. They're down to just one more. It's going to be a 3-3 half, Tim.
Fultz is out main stairs. Ashen's just going to rotate as well onto the hatch, which is just above blue. Sends out a couple of EMPs. I think that's a little bit of a decoy there, just to try and get a bit of attention in that opposite direction as he moves back to the bar hatch, ready to drop into Moto potentially. Fultz is going to open Church Wall. Just concerned about explosives over the top, but it should be the headshots they're worrying about. As Nade, he picks up 2. Hurge joins the party as well, and Ashen finds himself all alone. The explosive finishes off the round.
There is a drone on him inside of Jim, so they know that he's there is now the only concern.
Yeah, certainly needs to be aware of that. I don't think he's seen this. Nope. Taking pot shots at... No, he's just going to be attacked from the window, trying to play in behind the Kiva barricade, but KZ seems to just be unaware of that drone in behind him, holding on for the time being, gets himself into bathroom. Leapox just trying to push down these stairs, gets an absolute freebie onto Ashen there, who's sat drawn in 4 versus 4, and W7M holding on to this entire top floor at the minute, not just the site.
That's the worst thing, where Ashen's moved forward with a nade and said, yeah, that nade will give me a bit of room to get on drone and see where this guy is. Am I being pushed? Am I not? By the time he probably actually loads up the drone is when he's being swung and he's guaranteed dead. So really good response there by W7M to keep things at 4 and 4.
Hot and Cold just using those angles opened up in the garage wall. We're hoping for a rotate on Catwalk, hoping for any sort of movement, but as you can see, W7M, it looks a little bit like hands are off keyboards at the minute. We're comfortable with where we are. We've got a minute left to go, so we're just going to wait this one out. There is one on blue stairs at the minute. JV92 on Catwalk does manage to pick up Hot and Cold, who was watching for that angle, but gets hit in reverse. Fultz just trying to open up that CCTV wall a little bit more, but with 50 seconds left to go, SSG not really established inside of the map anywhere. They don't have too much control. Forrest is sort of lurking around on the bottom floor, looking to get up into garage, I think, to support the attack, but there you go, he's just trying to deal with the mirror. He has to win this fight and does. 3 versus 3, 30 seconds though. Time is going to be the problem.
So hard to play against that Vector at close range, highest rate defender gun in the game. It's just horrific to face off against, but he gets it done. 3 versus 3, Tim. At this point, 20 seconds on the clock. They've really got to get a shifty on. They're barely even looking inside a garage at the moment, and JV92 is still sat up on high. He's still got goo mines to play behind. They're going to run out of the clock here, Tim.
J9O gets up, gets one kill and an important one at that, taking control of garage. KZ manages to get the trade, but here comes Forrest on into sight. It's going to be a 1v1 between him and KZ. 3 seconds left to go. KZ has the run and manages to find the shot, takes down Forrest. Movement there from SSG suggesting they don't know exactly what's ahead of them. They're not confident that Cash was clear, just going in and having to face check it at the same time, but all's well that ends well.
Cheeky.
Ooh, trying that vertical angle. Do manage to pop the mirror out so they won't get overly aggressive on there. Nitro does get shot out as Herds tries to put it out of the window. Now then, Herds is in a bad position here. J9O's going to take full advantage and finds a beautiful shot. SSG saying, you might have some shots, but guess what? We've plenty stacked up too. And that leaves them now 5 versus 3 and looking good in round 9.
Very precarious, as he was really one of their main lines of defence there, looking out towards the west. With that now gone, they're going to have to pull the Clash back in, as you're seeing, from construction side back in towards site. Just got to tighten everything up. So, yeah, Herds again, damned if you do, damned if you don't. He really had to try and play that challenge, but he was massively disadvantaged. No mirror window, holes in the floor below him, a player outside and Jacuzzi to challenge at the same time. Just so much for him to try and take on there. SSG still running around with this one, but they have got 3 players that have taken a fair chunk of damage in the round, and here comes the plant attempt.
Yeah, Fultz is going to try and stick this. He has to come off it as his cover dies, and he is going to be taken down as well. That puts the diffuser down in the middle of sight. Not ideal, and as they try to come in through the windows, they're going to get taken down, but J9O makes a real attempt of it. As Fresh said, they like to play aggressive, like to play in the faces, and this is just going to burn a lot of that time that SSG have, and it's potentially going to deny them that opportunity when they do get onto the attack at the end.
Well, slowly working their way down here in a spot, I was going to say, looking okay so far as they were starting to work on hatches, but it has been that little bit slower, and they've also lost out on the entry with Hot and Cold being the one to fall away, and they've got the re-electrification come on through. Hatch stays closed. It's a couple more kills coming in for W7M, and it looks like actually, Tim, Clubhouse is going to remain a fortress for the Brazilians.
Almost certainly. JV92, he's been fantastic so far. 10 and 6 on the game, has hit some absolute beauties and continues to do so on main stairs. J9O has had a game himself, to be fair, 11 and 8. He's going to move down and try to rescue SSG's hopes here as he moves in through blue. The Pox arm gives him away, but I tell you what, doesn't matter if you get given away if you're going to hit headshots like that. Hertz gets taken down, but Felipox once again there for the trade, and that's something W7M have done so well through this game, is keep on top of the trades, and they are going to find that final kill onto Kitchen, cut themselves up a win.